I feel like as a Black brand, any brands should be coming out to the market thinking about this ahead of time. Like, hey, in the long term, I'm going to want my reach to be as wide as possible. Not saying that you have to reach everybody, but everybody who can use your product, you should be thinking about ultimately how you're going to be able to serve them. And I think when you have that idea and you go into the market that way, that's going to avoid those issues coming back where people are suddenly trying to cancel you because they're like, oh, well, you just said that you were doing this for us, and now you're trying to take care of other people, and we don't like that, right?
So I disagree, not from a macro level, I don't disagree with you, right? But when we start thinking about it from like a granular business practice, I don't think that a lot of entrepreneurs don't have the capability to launch that broadly, first off, right? So I'm okay with starting off niche. So in the episode, Tamika did talk about like the idea of starting off serving like a specific niche and filling a specific need. I think that strategically speaking, having a mindset or a thought process of one, how do I grow? But I also think that's where like communications comes in, marketing comes in, your connectivity with your consumers comes in as well. So if you are going to be like expanding your product range, right? Like how do you, one, have your business and your counterparts and your stakeholders come together and say, listen, what are the potential ramifications of this among our loyal consumer base? And then secondly, how do we potentially prepare to make this leap, right? To serve more people. And part of that is prepping. I do think that there's a piece of prepping your loyal consumers that has to happen in advance. So I think that with the Shea Moisture piece, it's not the fact that they started off niche. I think that once again, with limited resources, a lot of people have to start off niche. But I think that just springing something that quickly, right? That's when it's very rash and blunt and abrupt. And then that's when it kind of catches people off guard. So that's like the first thing. I do think that it would be okay, depending on what your goals are. And, talking about the episode, Tyler, he spoke about like, what are your initial goals that you have for your business? I think that when you start looking at your business, no matter what business you're in, you should always have a growth mindset, right? Because if you don't have a growth mindset and an innovative mindset, at some point, there's going to be competition that's going to come in. And if you're not constantly innovating in any area, whether you're innovating in communication, innovating in your product, innovating in your marketing strategy, right? Innovating in whatever you do, like that's how you get supplanted, right? We see what happened with the Blockbuster and, Netflix, right? And, Netflix started off with DVDs and then they were like innovating. And probably when they had the DVDs, they were already thinking about this streaming platform. So you think about all these different markets. So I think it's okay to figure out, and it's necessary to think about how you can innovate and grow. But that communication piece to your market is very important. But if you are going to stay within the sector, the other thing I'll say is another way to grow is either one, you can expand your market base. So it's saying, hey, right now I'm serving one specific demographic. How do I serve more demographics? Or the second thing is you can say, how can I develop more products to serve this same market, and then figure out how instead of them buying 1 or 2 or 3 products, I can serve the same market, but now they're buying 10 products, right? So those are the 2 different ways that you can grow in my mind. So.
And I said, I think that we're saying the same thing, because I did not say, I agree that you should start niche, right? Like wherever that market is, like wherever you're trying to address at that moment, that's what you're addressing. I said that you should go in with the mindset, thinking about like, hey, long term, if I'm going to be sustainable, if I'm coming out with this hot comb now, like at some point, this hot comb is only going to get me so far. So I should be coming in with a thought on what I'm going to be doing after that. Like, what am I going to be bringing into the market after that? to continue bringing in revenue, because at some point you're gonna hit a rock if you're only creating one thing, one product, or you're only targeting one group. That group's not going to necessarily serve you consistently throughout the life of your business. So you need to go in with the mindset that I need to have something else ready to go as soon as this hits, if it hits or whatever. Like, what's our next thing?